How do you determine original jurisdiction for a court case? Imagine you're trying to figure out which court should hear your case first. It might seem complicated at first, but understanding the basics makes it easier. When a case is filed, the first step is to see if the court has the authority to hear it from the start. This is called original jurisdiction. Think of it as the court's initial power to decide on a case, not just review decisions made elsewhere. Most trial courts, like state trial courts and federal district courts, have original jurisdiction over most cases. These courts are where cases begin, whether they involve disputes over money, property, or personal injuries. They handle evidence, hear witnesses, and make the first decisions. But higher courts, such as appellate courts and Supreme Courts, usually do not have original jurisdiction. Instead, they review decisions made by lower courts. However, some higher courts do have original jurisdiction in specific situations. For example, in the United States, the Constitution limits the Supreme Court's original jurisdiction to cases involving ambassadors, public ministers, consuls, or disputes between states. This means certain cases can go directly to the Supreme Court without passing through lower courts first. But the Supreme Court exercises this power only in very specific cases. To figure out if a court has original jurisdiction, you need to look at three main things. First, check who the parties are. Are they states, foreign diplomats, or individuals? For example, disputes between states go straight to the Supreme Court. Second, look at what the case is about. Does it involve constitutional issues, treaties, or federal laws? These factors can influence which court has the authority. Third, review the laws and the Constitution. Different courts have different rules about what cases they can hear first. In other countries like India, the Supreme Court also has original jurisdiction over disputes between the central government and states, or between states themselves. Cases involving fundamental rights are also handled directly by the Supreme Court in some situations. Knowing where a case should be filed is important because it affects how the case proceeds. The courtroom environment, key players like judges and attorneys, and the procedures all depend on the court's jurisdiction. If a case is filed in the wrong court, it might be dismissed or moved to the correct one. So, to determine the original jurisdiction for a case, you look at the nature of the dispute, who is involved, and what laws or rules give that court the authority. This helps ensure cases are heard in the right place from the very beginning, making the process smoother and more organized.